hello, everybody, and welcome to Game Changers. I love this segment, taking people who are leading this valley, doing great things. And when I speak of this valley, and I mean any place you go in this valley, you'll see one person. That's Murtaza Jaffer from EBC Printing. Murtaza, it is so great to have you. And I know we say that's chamber talk, but I mean it. You're an amazing person. You are everywhere. And I have my first question for you is this, Murtaza, and that is, how hard is it? You seem to feel comfortable and be comfortable wherever you go. Is that as easy as it looks or is it harder than what you make it look?
Thank you, Uncle Tony. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. Welcome to the Tony Iannelli and the Murtaza show. So welcome, everybody. And I hope you all had a nice Thanksgiving. As a matter of fact, yesterday, Uncle Tony, I was driving by to take my family to a restaurant in Northampton. And the GPS took me through the jungles of Whitehall, which is where I used to live. I went to high school there. And as I was going through Whitehall, on the right was Whitehall High School. And my daughter was in the van as well. And I'm like, Miriam, look, it's Whitehall High School. This is where Daddy went to school. And out of nowhere, in the line, I see on the sidewalk, I see this man who could really pass to be like the future Santa Claus. He's riding his bike, he's going really fast. And guess who it is? Phil Armstrong, our Lehigh County executive. And I'm like, Phil, hey, Mr. Armstrong. And he waves at us, and he got back to me later on saying that he's working off all the turkey he ate for Thanksgiving. But to your question, Tony, it's all about the community. I think what you have done is kind of like a benchmark for me to kind of look through, and through your guidance, through your mentorship, through your friendship of what you've done with the chamber to help small businesses like myself is what has really helped organizations like myself to prosper. So we look towards you as a guidance. We look towards what you've done with the chamber and kind of expand our business, diversify our business, the partnerships that you have formed, Tony. For example, the partnerships over the years that have been built with regionally, for example, with the Pocono Chamber and the Carbon County Chamber, that has allowed small businesses like myself to also expand our reach into different areas and also diversify ourselves. So thanks for everything that you do.
Well, you work it. I want to ask you a question about that, but before I do, I'm looking at the background. I love logos. I think they're cool. And I love yours. I love the visual. I love the color. Is there a story behind your logo, which I think is amazing?
There is. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. On March 25th, 2010.
That's my birthday, by the way, March 25th.
I was going to say, we did two things. We celebrated Tony Iannelli's birthday, and we also had a grand opening celebration of our business, EBC Printing.
Remember it well.
And you were kind enough to be there along with many executives and partners from the Lehigh Valley Chamber and leaders in our community. And we can't thank you for your support. And fast forward, our logo represents 10 years, Tony. Now we've passed 10 years, going into the 11th year. The colors are mainly green and magenta. The green the meaning behind the green is, putting in place green initiatives into our production process. So any signage that we produce or printing, they're all using green methods. So we use petroleum-free printing presses, latex inks on the signage side. We recycle all of our paper and any other materials, and doing our part as a small business to be eco-friendly as much as possible. And then the magenta or the pinkish color is to represent all the women leaders that we work with. And I'd like to give an example of Andrea Hemphill, who is my manager here at EBC. And she was very much involved with the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce, the Masterminds Group, and also the Women's Business Council. When you had just begun to start diversifying the chamber. So I'm much thankful that my involvement with the chamber, I was able to find Andrea Hemphill as my manager here at EBC.
Murtaza, where do you get the strength, though? Again, I often say with our staff at the chamber, our member relations staff, who are really largely doing sales and so on, rejection is not everyone can live with it, and it can shut you down, if you will. Right. And what I love about you is you have the same attitude all the time. Look, you're a business person, you're a serious business person, so you're not a backslapper. You've got work to do, but you just always have such a good attitude. Where does that come from?
Tony, believe me, it's a lot to do with emotional decisions. Number one is family. Family is very important to me. And this is a family business. I work with my brother, Mustafa, who is my partner. And also, it's because we're so close-knit together that everything works. So it's all about family. And number two, it's all about community. We got into this business not knowing the printing trade or the signage or having a business center with zero experience. We just wanted to be together. My brother and I, we wanted to live next to each other. We wanted our families to be together. And what better place to live in than the Lehigh Valley in this area? So we literally found this business that was going for sale, Express Business Center. That's how it started. And we said, hey, we want to be close to each other, live together. And that's how we started. And then as we went along, Tony, the community embraced us. They gave us a lot of feedback on how we can expand our business, forming our partnership with the Lehigh Valley Chamber, gave us a lot of ideas on how we can grow. And that's what it's all about, family and community.
Well, boy, you work at, you really do. Talk a little bit about, everyone has a story, how your family, how you got here to the States and that whole evolution, which has got to be an incredibly interesting story.
Yeah, it's an incredible story of sacrifice from parents. My parents wanted us to be here. They wanted their children to grow up in America and get a really good education in the United States. So they decided that we would move to the Lehigh Valley because my brother, Mustafa, got accepted at Lehigh University. My other sibling, Siddiqa, she also got accepted at Lehigh University. And Siddiqa and myself, we started going to Whitehall High School when we moved here.
When you say moved here from Murtaza, from where?
Sure. So we all moved here from a country called Tanzania, East Africa. So long ways from here. And of all the places, Tanzania, we moved right here in the Lehigh Valley. And it all started off with Lehigh University. Wow. So thanks to Lehigh, although I'm not a Lehigh grad, Mustafa and I were always saying, hey, go Penn State. And he's always like, go Lehigh. Because I'm a Penn Stater, he's a Lehigh grad. But all good education, good educational institutions here that we have.
Incredible story. I want to ask you one other thing. So look, you're on our executive committee of the chamber, which is absolute leadership. I always tell you someday I see you as the chair of this board at some point. My only point is you're mainstream in this valley. But I wanted to ask you, I know your faith is really important to you. And I wondered, you seem to, no hurdle bothers you. And I know there have been times where I think you've had to sort of educate someone in terms of who you are, what your thoughts are, and for acceptance. And talk a little bit about that. And because I know you don't wear a chip on your shoulder, and I don't want to overdo it, but you do. It is important to you, and I think that's worth talking about.
It is, Tony. I think it's the differences that kind of excite me because differences create opportunities. There's beauty within differences. My own daughter, Tony, I put her in a Christian-based school when she started. And it's simply because of the fact that I love the folks here at Faith Church. So right by our print shop, we have Faith Church, and the folks there are just incredible, good human beings. And I said, I want Miriam to go to school here. And I know that the things that she will learn there about Adam, about Jesus, about Moses are the same things that she'll learn at a Muslim school. And the little differences that are between the Abrahamic religions, I want Miriam to grow up and see beauty within those differences. Whereas the world might not see that, saying that,
Yes.
oh, there are so many differences, and that's what segregates the faith and the ideas. But for me, those differences, we need to see beauty in those things. So that's what I've learned, Tony. And also, within our business, we have people of different backgrounds, people of different faith. And in the past 10 years, Tony, with the political climate, I've had to have several discussions with my team members. As a matter of fact, at one point, we just got together in a conference room and said, Mustafa and I said, hey, you can ask us any questions about our faith. You see us praying on a prayer mat 5 times a day here at EBC. Please feel free to ask us any questions. And I think that was a great move, because it actually brought us closer. And now we actually have a room at EBC where we get to pray together. It doesn't matter what faith you are. We actually have a copy of the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah here as well. So any faith, anybody who wants to meditate in this room, they're more than welcome to do so. And this Friday, we're going to be celebrating Christmas tree lighting at Faith Church. So we're all looking forward to participating there.
Yeah, that is so you. That's amazing. Murtaza, I'm going to bring on Lauren Spence, who's got a couple, we always say young people questions for you, but she wants to ask you a few questions, and I can't wait to, they're always good. They're always better than mine. So Lauren, it's all yours.
Tony's hyping me up so much. Well, Murtaza, I have to say, it is such a pleasure being with you here this afternoon. You are one of the first people I met when I started at the chamber as an intern 7 years ago, and you just immediately made that impact. You were that warm welcome right away, felt like an old friend, and you're still a dear friend. So thank you so much for being just such a light to our community, and especially to our young professionals here at the chamber. I know you have relationships with so many on our staff, and we all feel like we can come to you and look to you as a leader. So thank you for that.
Thank you for being a great leader. Thank you for helping us with the Ambassadors Council. You're a true rock star. So thank you for everything that you do. I really appreciate it.
Well, I have a question for you, Murtaza. I have
Please.
a couple, but I have one that I'd love to start with. So as the owner of a small business, what are 3 leadership qualities that you personally strive to embody?
I think number 1 is communication. You need to be transparent with your team on what your goals are, what your expectations are. Number 2, you need to care about the community. You need to care about the people and literally listen to what their needs are. And even though those goals might not be met right away, you still have to take their ideas seriously. So for example, when we started our business, we just had the business center, which is kind of like the FedEx Kinko's, the UPS store, and the post office all combined in one. And with the feedback of customers saying that, hey, you guys are doing all of our copies and things like that. Can you guys print a banner for us? Some customers would come and say, hey, can you print a brochure for us? And we would always say, hey, we don't have a printing press, we don't have a sign machine. But those services complemented the business center. And our team suggested, hey, we should really look into, taking the next step and actually going into a commercial business and call it EBC Printing. And that idea came from our team. It wasn't from us. It wasn't from Mustafa and myself. So we took that idea very seriously. We formed, a different branch for our business called EBC Printing, which would be the commercial side, and Express Business Center, which would help service more of our retail services. And now I'm happy to say that we now have 3 divisions with our business. We have Express Business Center, we have EBC Printing and Signs, and we also have EBC Promo, which is all the ad specialty items, such as promotional products and apparel.
You do it all. Thank God for that team member or those people who suggested that idea. And thank God that they had a leader like you who would actually listen and implement some of those ideas. That's great advice. Thank you, Murtaza.
Absolutely.
My next question for you, if you could offer one piece of advice specifically to young professionals, what would it be? Just one.
I think in any sort of life path or a career path that you're in, you should belong to an organization that you could get help from. And for me, it was the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce. When we started our business, we didn't have a good direction on which path we wanted to go. We just took an emotional decision of families wanted to be together, my brother and I wanting to live in the Lehigh Valley. We saw the business going for sale, and we started investing in technology, investing in equipment, and we saw that our business was declining actually. And the reason was we weren't partnered with an organization that could really help spread our word out there, be part of the community. So for me, the partnership with the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber really helped us. The community got to know a little bit about us, started relying on us. It's a very loyal community that we live in here in the Lehigh Valley. They like to do work with people that they know, they get to see. So that's what really helped us, the partnership with the Lehigh Valley. And I would advise that any young professional, whatever career path they are, to form these partnerships in whatever field they are.
Show up to every single event on the face of the earth like you do. You're somehow seriously everywhere, Murtaza. It's incredible.
You have to, yeah. I mean, we live in such a vibrant community, that number one, I really enjoy it. I love meeting new people, new businesses, getting to learn about them. And, I've formed many relationships that have helped me in my business. We moved our location in March of 2020.
Yeah,
we're the smart ones. We moved when COVID just hit and just started. But it's been a long journey, and if it wasn't for us knowing about some of the members of the chamber, we couldn't have built this facility. For example, our real estate person advised us that we should have our separate building. We should actually lease it out and have tenants. And I had never been a landlord before. I didn't know what went into construction. So if it wasn't for the chamber partnerships and the memberships that we knew, we wouldn't be able to build this building that we're in. And we're so thankful to the partnership. Now our employees are comfortable. We have a very streamlined production process. And during COVID, Lauren, we actually found an acquisition opportunity that is a testimony with our membership with the chamber. We get a phone call one day saying that, we're interested in selling our business to you. And we visited this business. It was a sign business. And we acquired the business during the pandemic. And it was a great fit for us to buy this signage company, offer print, offer signage. But the company got to know about us based on our membership through the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm sure they met you, and what's not to love about you and your brother?
Yeah, it was a good partnership. We understood their business, they understood our need. And we actually found a home for an employee that worked at that business. Now they have a home here at EBC. All the equipment has transferred over here. And once we invite people to come and look at these equipment, our production, our first story, which is real, is, hey, do you know how we produced this project? Do you know how we produced this banner? Do you know how we produced this booklet? It all started with some of the relationships we've formed through the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce. So I talk about the chamber every day.
Yeah, you sure
I was gonna
do.
say, Tony, did you put him up to this? Because that sounded like quite the
He's
plug.
better than I am. So but a little bit of time we have left, because it's amazing. We're way over time, but being with you, Murtazas, and Lauren will close us out. But the one question I want to ask you, Murtaza, before I lose you is, I love that you bring people together. So, you've come on the board and really helped us grow from a diversity, equity, inclusion, a person of color, incredible representative of the Muslim community. But yet and this tremendous love for this country. So at a time when people are picking sides, Murtaza, talk about your vision on what we can and should be.
I can definitely talk about an idea that I've always wanted to implement, Tony, especially here in our Lehigh Valley region is, look, the community loves our local business and they do a great job of it. I think one thing that we can work on are more supplier diversity programs. And these are programs that can help some of the diversity initiatives that the chamber has implemented. For example, having a women's business council, having African American Business Council, LGBT, young professionals, all these diversity councils, we can actually take a step further in having communications with some of the larger companies in the Lehigh Valley and helping them form supplier diversity initiatives so that all companies are included within their buyers, within their marketing departments, so that everybody gets a chance. And the work is not going outside the Lehigh Valley. We want to keep all the jobs here, all the work here, keep the tax dollars here, and help support small businesses like myself.
Yeah, great point. So if you're a small Latino painting company, or in your case, a printing company that maybe doesn't have a lifelong history, doesn't have access, give them that access so they can have an opportunity to get some work in with these larger corporations, which can only help lift us all up, as you just said.
Exactly. There have been some great companies, Tony, here in the Lehigh Valley who have these programs. For example, Lanta is one, PPNL is another one, Crayola is another one, who kind of spread their work here in the Lehigh Valley. And people who do have the capability, they give them an opportunity. And this is what it's all about.
Yeah, great. You're an amazing man. I'll tell you what, I love spending time with you, and you've accomplished so much. And I see you ever. I always say he's got to have a twin that I don't know about, because every time I go to a board meeting, you're on the board. So Lauren Spence, way over time, but well worth it. I'll let you close us out.
Thank you, Tony. I seriously could have stayed for another hour to talk to you, Murtaza. You are such an inspiration, and we're so grateful for your time today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
You are not only a game changer, you are an amazing small business owner, an amazing family man, chamber ambassador. You do it all. We are so grateful for your partnership. So thank you again. To our viewers at home, we hope you enjoyed this installment of Game Changers, and we look forward to connecting with you next time. Be sure to stay tuned on the Chamber's social media pages for our next episode. We'll see you soon.